What's going on, everybody? This is Duke. I was talking to my dad earlier today, and we got to this discussion about the education system, and I'm like, man, here's the deal with education. Um, Education is important. Um, Life is education. We should never stop learning, and we treat education as if it's an institute. Like schooling is an institute where that's the only place you can get information from. Um, Education being educated is a lifestyle. You've got to constantly read. You can say, well, where do you learn how to read from? Where do you learn how to write from? Parents, we've got to fall in love. If our kids see that our parents are not in love with education, then, if your parents are not in love with education, then the children are going to not be in love with education. It's like, all right. And then there's this, uh, the grade. You can make the grade and not be educated. You can do just enough to make straight A's and be as dumb as bricks. You know what I mean? You can know what the paper says, you can know what answers they want, but if you don't understand systems, and if you don't understand how things work, and I guess what I'm saying is the value of education needs to be increased, not where it's at. We've got to stop looking in the past as if that was a good educational system, and we need to defend the educational system. What I'm saying is the educational system that we have is not good, and we need to do better. We need to create a culture that loves education. Our culture hates education. We love money. We want money. Our culture, we live in a country that wants to make it, and we want to stay, the way we are. We want to be rewarded for bad thinking. And that's not realistic. And in some cases, it is realistic in some cases. In some cases, you get paid for being as dumb as bricks. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, think about the way we treat the smart kids in school. We call them nerds and pick on them and things like that, right? And then they end up doing things like owning Apple, while the rest of us are fighting over Social Security and can't wait to get to that retirement check. You know, and the people that we called nerds and picked on in school and stuff like that, they now run the country because of technology, while we were picking on them. And then there's this other group of people that are athletes, and they end up becoming celebrities, and celebrities, all this stuff. But for the majority of people, where is the connection to success in the majority of people's lives? That's the thing. If you're not a big time celebrity, if you're not some super dude that came up with Apple or Verizon, you're not some super genius. What then? Where does not the average? There's no such thing as an average man or average woman. There's no such thing. You're the only you. There's only significant people. There's only significant people. So how does someone who is just simply not an entertainer, an athlete, or some technological guru who can create, Windows and Apples and iPads and all that stuff, how does someone live a successful life that just wants to be a husband, a wife, or who wants to take care of their children? How do you do that? Well, you do it with your gift. Your gift. It's that simple. Your gift. Your gift is what makes room for you. And being educated about your gift. Being educated about your service. This has to be boring because I'm boring myself. I'm yawning. That was funny. But the fact is that I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Some strange, like people who are brave enough to enhance their creative gifts end up doing wonderful things in life. And again, I'm not saying that we don't need education. I'm saying that we need to do better with education. The government's cutting our programs. When do we as a community, we as a society, when do we say, hey, the government is cutting educational programs, maybe we need to start implementing them in our community? You know, it's hard to do that when everybody's chasing the dollar and just recognizing what all the problems are, bringing no solutions. Therefore, I have brought it a solutionist. And here's my concept. All right. Concept is that we get the churches to hire teachers. A lot of teachers have lost their jobs, but these are people that have information. We get more teachers if the churches hire school teachers on staff, not to have a school, but a after school program, pay the teachers, the teachers can get paid per child or whatever, or set something up that the pastors begin to set up. I'm not saying pastors, I'm not saying start your own schools. What I am saying is that if each church begins to hire teachers, or if anyone out there begins to get a facility where teachers can come and and have personal tutors and personal sessions. There's some people who are already doing what I'm saying, but we need to take advantage of these programs and empower them. Also, parents, stop chasing the money and start teaching your children, educate your children. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Peace.